Hello dear students, Deepali ma'am here. Today we will talk about lesson 17, stars and solar system. First of all, what is the solar system? It is the sun and all the objects that orbit around it, means move around it, the sun continuously. The sun is orbited by planets, asteroids, comets and other things. It contains 99.9% of the solar system mass. That means that it has strong gravity. The other objects are pulled into the orbit around the sun. The collection of all 8 planets and their moons, they always orbit around the sun. Together are the smaller bodies in the form of asteroids, meteoroids and comets. This is called a solar system. The stars and the solar system are present in the Milky Way galaxy. It is a galaxy in which we live. It is spiral shaped. It is spread out from its center like a spiral, you can see in the picture. So its another name is also spiral galaxy. All the members of this galaxy, it may be sun or its solar family, stars and then other celestial bodies, they are present in that. There are millions of Milky Way galaxy in the universe. This is only a very small part of the universe. So in other words, we can say the stars, sun, moon, planets, shooting stars, celestial bodies, all these make the universe. What is a shooting star? It is sometimes which we see bright lines of light flashing across the sky. That is called as shooting star. Now we will talk about stars. As we know, the sun is the nearest star to the earth. The next nearest star is the Alpha Centauri, which you can see here. Stars are very big in size, but they appear to us in the dot shape because they are very far away from us. So we are not able to see them properly. They are formed from gases and they are very hot like sun, but the distance is million times far away, so we cannot feel their warmth as well as we cannot see them properly. Only we can see a small dot in the sky. It is the reason the nearest star, that is the sun, appears like a big spherical ball to us, but other stars appear like dots or points to us. Now comes the Sirius. After the sun, it is the Sirius which is the brightest star in the sky, and Alpha Centauri is the third brightest star in the sky. But after sun, the nearest star to the earth is Alpha Centauri, but the brightest star after sun is the Sirius. We have 3 different colors in the star, and that color depends on the temperature. That is the temperature of the star, the surface temperature. Stars which have lower temperature appear to be red. More high temperature, that stars appear to be white. And the stars with very high temperature, they appear to be blue. The size and the color of the stars changes with the brightness and temperature. All the stars, including the sun, move around some celestial point with huge speeds. Since the stars are far away, the distance between any 2 stars does not appear to change. In spite, the stars have a very great speed. We always see that the stars are shifting from their positions, but after a span of time. The reason of shifting of stars from their position is due to the rotation of the earth. A star which appears to rise in the east in the evening appears to set in the west in the early morning. The reason is the rotation of the earth. We also know that earth revolves around the sun. The revolution of earth around the sun and its rotation on its axis is the cause of the same star rising 4 minutes earlier after each day. This implies that overall setup of the sky changes every night. But this change we cannot notice. The reason is we are very far away from that. Now comes the pole star. It is also known as Dhruv Tara. It is a special star and its location is northern hemisphere. This star appears to be at fixed position. In fact, we see stars to revolve around the pole stars. This is because the pole star lies on the line of axis of Earth rotation. We have the imaginary line for the rotation of the Earth, so the pole star appears to be lies on that axis, and because of this special feature, this star is very useful to the travelers, and it was very useful for the travelers. The pole star defines the northern direction. Now we will talk about constellations in the sky. The constellation is a group of stars that appear to form some recognizable pattern or shape in the sky. Or we can say it makes an imaginary shape in the night sky. They are usually named, they means the shapes of the pattern of stars. They are named after the mythological characters of people, maybe animals or objects. In different parts of the world, people have made different shapes out of the same groups of bright light. The origin of earliest constellation was very millions of years ago. Now we will talk about some common prominent constellations. Prominent means which are very common and which can be seen throughout the world. Orion is one of the most common constellation. It is prominent, it is located on the celestial equator and is visible throughout the world. It is one of the most important and recognizable constellation in the night sky. It is named after the Orion, a hunter according to the Greek mythology. It is the brightest star constellation and it has 7 bright stars. 4 of these appear to be arranged in the form of quadrilateral and other 3 form a straight line in the middle. One of the largest stars of Orion is the Betelgeuse. It is situated in one corner, while another bright star of Orion is known as Rigel. It is located in the opposite of the corner in the Orion. Another prominent constellation is the Ursa Major. It is a constellation in the northern sky whose associated mythology dates back in prehistory. In Latin, name means greater she-bear. The Big Dipper is also the another name of Ursa Major, or it can also be called as Great Bear. Hindus mythology regard the 7 stars in the Ursa Major as 7 rishis, or the names of the saints. According to that, the names are given to the stars of the Orion. In this constellation, the 2 stars at the top are called pointers. This is because the line joining them points in the direction of the pole star. Another well-known constellation is Ursa Minor, or it can be also called as Small Dipper. It has 7 prominent stars. Pole star lies on the handle tip of the constellation. Both Ursa Major and Ursa Minor constellation are usually visible during the spring season. Another constellation is Cassiopeia. It is another prominent constellation in the northern sky. It is visible during winter season, especially between November and December. It is visible in the early part of night. It looks like a distorted form of letter W or M. It is a very prominent constellation which can be seen only between the winter season of November and December. Now comes the natural satellite of the Earth, Moon. We can see different faces of Moon as it looks from the Earth, so that are the different faces which are observed by the human beings. As the Moon orbits around the Earth, the half of the Moon that faces the Sun will be lit up. The different faces or the shapes of the Moon which are lit portion via the Sun light, that Moon can be seen from the Earth, and that is known as phases of Moon. Each phase of Moon repeats itself every 29.5 days. The same half of the Moon always faces the Earth, so the phases will always occur over the same half of the Moon's surface. There are mostly 8 phases that the Moon goes through. a new moon, a waxing crescent moon, half moon, waxing gibbous moon, full moon, waning gibbous moon, then the last quarter or the half moon, then waning crescent moon. Children, waxing means when the moon is growing in size. In common words, means when the light of the moon which is coming from the sun is increasing, that is called as waxing. So when slowly it increases, that is called as waxing crescent. Crescent means less than half. Then comes half moon, then waxing gibbous moon. Gibbous means more than half. So when the moon size or the lighting area of the moon increases, that is called as gibbous moon. So when the sunlight is falling on the moon and that face of moon is seen by the human beings on the earth, then we can see the lighted moon, and that can be called as full moon. And if we are not able to see the moon, means that light area of the moon is facing the sun and not facing the earth, so that is called as new moon. Slowly the sunlight falls on the moon and the moon increases in size, that is called as crescent moon. So it can be called as waxing crescent moon. Then half quarter, or we can say half moon, waxing gibbous means more than half and more light is increasing, full moon. Then waning means again the light is going away from the moon which is seen from the earth, so that is called as waning. Light is going to decrease in the size. Waning gibbous, waning half moon, and then waning crescent. As the light goes away from the moon which is seen from the earth, then it becomes as new moon. So these are the 8 different phases of moon which are seen from the earth. And moon always reflects the light from the sun. It does not have its own light. Now the surface of the moon. The American astronaut Neil Armstrong was the first person to land on the moon. Then he was followed by Edwin Aldrin. They observed the moon's surface and then they gave the report, which is like that. The moon's surface was dusty and barren. Barren means it is very dry and plants cannot grow on the barren land. Craters means deep holes, up to hundreds of kilometers wide big holes were there on the surface of the moon. It also had large mountain ranges, and they also had valleys as well as lava plains. The moon does not have any atmosphere, so that's why there are no weather changes on the surface of the moon. And if there is no atmosphere, so there can be trapped no heat, means it cannot keep the heat and light of the sun, and as the heat comes, then immediately the heat goes back and it is not trapped on the surface of the moon, as the earth traps the heat and helps to maintain the balance in the atmosphere. So that's why we neither feel very hot neither very cold, as the heat is trapped on the earth. The moon extreme ranging from 100 degree at noon and minus 173 at night. This is the temperature of the moon in the daytime as well as in the night time. The solar system is the sun and all the objects that orbit around the sun. The sun is mostly orbited by the planets, asteroids, comets, and many other things. So there are planets and very small other objects that keep moving around the sun. So it contains 99.9% of the solar system mass. This means it has a strong gravity. The other objects are pulled into orbit around the sun. The question is, why do planets only move around the sun? Why they don't change their path? It is because the sun's gravity pulls the planets towards the sun, which changes the straight line of direction into a curve. This keeps the planet moving in an orbit around the sun. Because of the sun's gravitational pull, all the planets in the solar system orbit around it. The sun is a huge ball of super hot gas which keeps the planets and many other things revolving around it. So there are planets as well as many other smaller things which can be called as minor bodies like asteroids, comets, meteoroids and satellite which are moving. Now we have artificial satellites also which keep moving in the solar system.